Hey everyone, I'm Rather Incoherent, back with more Subnautica base building. We are close to going into the Lost River and continuing the story, but I realized something. There's one major thing this base lacks. It's the alien containment. And I've been avoiding it because I thought to get the alien containment I'd have to go all the way over to the Grand Reef somewhere around here, go down 500 meters through warpers, and then scan it. And the warpers are the one thing I'm scared of. It's why I'm doing the main story over here instead. But I forgot something important. It's that I'm an idiot. You see, you can actually get the alien containment from data pads. You don't have to scan the one in the Gossy base, and there's one in the bulb zone where there are no warpers. So let's go get an alien containment and really advance our base a lot, because, man, I've been waiting to build this for a while now. The mushroom forest at night is pretty spooky, I'll admit. It would probably be worse if the lights were off, but I mean, then it's not spooky, it's just pitch black. Sir, do you mind? You're not even in the right biome. Please stop that. So on the map, we are out in the eastern edge of the bulb zone. There's some bone sharks around. They're very friendly little guys. Don't mind them too much. They're just loud. They do also kill you a teeny tiny bit, but not that much, really. There are worse things. Ampules, to my knowledge, have never actually hit me properly because I've never taken meaningful damage from one. But this data box right here should be alien containment, and it is. Now, can I actually get inside this without getting killed? It looks like I can. It's actually kind of up for debate, depending on whether or not the bone shark can get into this room. It looks like he might not be able to. This room has nothing new to me. There was something scannable in here, though. It might have just been a fish. Yeah, it seems like it was just a fish. Well, let's scan this or cut this rather, and figure out what's on the other side. Ow, what? The ampule just shocked me through the walls. Very rude. Please stop that. Aside from a carry-all that I don't actually want, there's really nothing in here. Weird. Hi there, bud. How are you doing? This place seems like it kind of sucks. If there's anything of value in it, it's on the outside, I guess? There's a door here that I didn't notice. Maybe there's something in here. Sort of. There's the outside. I need to look around at this stuff, make sure it's something I actually care about. I don't think it is. This looks like a terrible wreck that only has the alien containment, but the alien containment's kind of all I need. So that's still a big win for us, even if all we got was the alien containment. So let's get back. Is it safe to grab this? There we go. I just didn't want to leave that beacon there forever because then it would always be on the beacons tab, even if I set it to off. The bone shark just wants a friend. He's sad that I'm going. That's all it is. Apparently, a bone shark followed me a very long way back towards my base. I'm in the mushroom forest almost home at this point. That does sort of glow like the sun. That's definitely a thing that could use some improvement. And speaking of issues with FCS at the moment, I've realized that almost every issue I've had, like bases changing names and power taglines reverting to their default state and failing to work anymore, all of that's caused by the same thing as losing your account. It all happens when you exit to the menu and load back in. None of it happens if I fully close the game between every load. And that's really, really helpful. Now, between episodes, you'll notice there are a lot of hatches to these bottom floors. That's because we're installing alien containment on the bottom two floors of all of this, and in between episodes, I've gotten the glass to do so, mostly via mining for sand. To quickly show off why I've had this aquarium planned for so long, it's the only meaningful way to decorate a floor. Now I can throw in tons of decorations in the form of plants at the bottom and fish in these in every single room. So something I should mention at this point is the base is so large that it's starting to freak out the game a little bit. Every time I build something attached to the base, when it finishes, there's this huge hiccup. You're gonna notice when this is 100%, the game just stops for a second, and you're gonna watch the death moth drop out and re-anchor in the moon pool. See? Every time. I'm not quite sure what happens when your base gets this big, but every time that happens. Here's the hatch, there it goes again. Every time. Not quite sure what's going on. It's definitely not my game, though, or any mods. I've seen people make base game videos with the same issue, where they make a super long base that goes from point A to point B across the ocean floor, and in those videos, they have to actually stop at some point, make an exit hatch from one base, and then an entry hatch into the next base, because the first base has just gotten so laggy that they can't really use it anymore. Alright, now that I see the actual aquarium floor, I understand how I want this laid out. I just want a ring of lantern trees around this, and every other plant's gonna get moved out of this room as decorations around the base. I've already started doing that just a little bit. If you come over to the main room here, you can see I have some plants as decorations at these entrance hatches. And right now, just doing a quick walkthrough to ensure that every single area of this base does in fact have the alien containments. It looks like every single room does have its alien containment floor, so it's time to start installing all the fish and flora that I've collected throughout the game. We're gonna have to do this in batches because I don't have enough fish and flora for all of them. I need to wait for them to reproduce. So I think the one that's most important to me is going to be the teleporter room, which is gonna be identified as kelp forest stuff. And then in my own room, like the bedroom, which is gonna be themed purple with bladderfish and Reginalds and jelly shrooms and crab snakes. This amphibial near my base is beginning to be a real problem. I'm just trying to pick some fruit to plant in my internal gardens, dude. Internal gardens makes it sound real weird, doesn't it? That's not the right word. Oh, there's multiple amphibials that have followed me back to my base at this point. Oh man, guys, come on, please go home. I really am just have to ram these guys with a sea moth until they die, aren't I? Because they are not leaving. Now, unfortunately, despite all the work I've just done, I am 28 minutes into this recording. These all sort of look like this. The plants haven't grown, the eggs haven't hatched. So I'll show them all at a future point in time once everything finally starts coming together. I still need to harvest flora, transfer them from one to the other, probably duplicate some fish once the fish start breeding as well, but for now, everything in the arcs has been moved into the aquariums. The aquariums have access. Once an aquarium is deemed finished, I'm going to cut off the hatches on the inside and outside so it's just seamless. I may at some point in the future decorate the outsides of those, but that sounds like a lot of work for very little gain. I think I've gone far too long gorging myself on lantern fruits at this point. Let's just be sensible, buy the water machine, and never have to do this again. Because, I mean, really, I'm at 39 water right now. I have to do this how many more times? 3 or 4? And I can just click the water machine once, it would be much nicer. Now, at this point, I'm going to finally fix this room. I'm going to find homes for all of these plants. Right now, I've already got the marble melons moved, so I can remove that one. And I've also already got, oh, here's another marble melon. I was gonna say, I've also got the fern moved already, so we can kill this one as well, because if we need more, we can always harvest samples from the ones I've already placed. Now, I'll be transferring over all the pink and purple plants, these flowers, and the Ming plant to my room because, well, that just makes sense to do. I'm assigning all the pink and purple flora to that aquarium, it'll match nicely. Thankfully, decorations don't have all the same problems that I've been experiencing with actual base construction. Otherwise, this would lag my game so many times just to put plants in here. I'm 43 minutes in, I'm still moving plants, I've actually just finished, and eggs are finally starting to hatch. The crash fish just hatched. I hope these eyes breed soon, or these oculus rather, so I can throw away the diseased one, because it's sort of ruining my aquarium vibe. And then I'm able to look at it and get a good feel for how big the plants are. I'm not sure if I feel good about putting these in clusters of 4 anymore, because they don't really... They feel very slapdash. I think I'd like them slapdash on the entire thing if they were going to be in there at all. Apparently my mesmer already hatched and I just didn't realize it. Both of them did, in fact. The blue room really does not feel blue enough to me. Eye's sort of part of the problem. Eyes are just green, not blue. I messed that up. Their eyes admittedly are blue, but even though they're mostly eye, the eye tends to be surrounded by green. So I'm sorry, eyes, but you're being evicted. Again. And looking at all this stuff on the bottom, I feel like I would want more writhing weeds if I want more anything. And it's possible that I'm replacing all of this with writhing weeds and moving the blue palm and spotted dockleaf somewhere else. And again, the oculus are more green than purple. Yes, they have a purple eye, but they're in the wrong place, let's be real. And also, they're beginning to breed and dominate the tank at a very alarming rate. Alright, I've been doing this for about 50 minutes now, and I think it's time to call it quits and move on, wait for things to breed, and then move things around, see how I feel about it. But the one room that's received the biggest change is definitely the teleporter room, with its green walls, kelp forest biome underneath it, Chinese potato plants just for more green plants in the background. I like this room a lot more, at the very least. Harsh contrast to the industrial nightmare outside. Coming through, the farms are actually just like a dedicated lantern tree room now. I appear to have forgotten this one existed, but I'm all out of plants and fauna right now, so, you know, later. Coming over to the main room, this is supposed to be the blue room, and it kind of is. I think I feel better about just writhing reeds and moving everything else to other places, though. This is supposed to be the red room, and I can make it more the red room by buying something. So we'll come back to that later. That's the last room on this branch. Over here, I believe I have the boring predators room, which I filled with blood kelp. This is bone sharks and sand sharks, nothing else. I don't know if I've actually talked about my room. I have. It's the purple room. It has TVs now. It has an overhead, little rugs on all the entrances, and a chair so you can watch your TVs. This TV isn't really in a great place or anything, but it looks nice. I like the symmetry. Hey, my crab snakes have hatched. They're very tiny at the minute. It's kind of adorable. And our last room is just the safe shallows room. A bunch of boring fish that didn't necessarily fit anywhere else, but they all came from the same biome. And I figured I'd throw my pygmy fans in here, because I like them. And I don't know, it makes sense. Pygmies are... Somehow it makes sense to me that pygmy fans and the safe shallows are closely related. They aren't, but it makes sense in my head, damn it. It looks like everyone's hatching while I take this nap to speed things along. But more importantly, the paint guns arrived. There, now they're all hideously bright red to match the red fish beneath them and make them feel appropriately dangerous.
Welcome aboard, Captain.
Alright, I've got a genius idea. I just realized I actually need an aquarium room specifically for cuttlefish as well as, what are they called? Reginalds or Oculus, whichever one's the best biofuel. So this room should probably be, or one of the other unused rooms should probably be, a room dedicated to farming and actually hatching the fish I love. And I've realized that this room is now going to be a pun. It's no longer the safe shallows, we're just going to smash it together with the other room, the boring predator room, to create the unsafe shallows. No, I've never actually tried to transfer things from one aquarium to another before. Apparently sand sharks are quite large, that checks out. So I've had to do this over several trips, but I mean, can I actually transfer them from aquarium to aquarium? Logically I should be able to. Don't mind the ampule outside. Do you just like want to live in here? Yeah, he's fine. He's still normal and tiny size. He hasn't grown up since I dropped him. The ampule outside just killed this peeper in my tank. Alright, we're solving the problem now. I think I had extra peepers in there anyway, so it's fine. I did. Like, I was actually here to do some culling because that tank seemed overcrowded. It's time to joust. That's ridiculous. What a stupid problem. How many head-on collisions does it take to get to the center of an ampule? Two? 3? We're under half, so we need to heal. It looks like it kind of learned its lesson and ran away, but... Oh man, this runs by science. I don't actually know which one I was ramming originally. I'll just have to count them both and then divide by 2, I guess. 4. 5. That hurt quite a lot. At this point, I'm as much driving them away from my home as I am actually killing them. No pun intended. You are still way too close to my house with the current aggro radius. Ow. Jesus Christ, we're leaving. What on earth, sand sharks? Calm down. I forgot that the grassy plateaus aren't actually safe anymore. That was absurd. Alright. Now, what was I doing? I was bullying ampules? That sounds reasonable. I like to think he's trying to kill the reef back. He's just got big dreams. Alright, at this point, I think I've driven them, like, far enough from my base. They're at draw distance towards the Aurora, I think? No, towards the western half of the map, but I'm several hundred meters from my house at this point. I think I've just successfully bullied them away. I was trying to kill them, not drive them off, but I guess I'll take it. According to the wiki, the Oculus is the best source of bioreactor fuel at 630 per fish. However, that's kind of a lot of work. Because instead I could just do it 410 per deep shroom and not have to farm fish. which sounds much easier, to be honest. I guess while I'm in here harvesting the excess fish, I should probably scan all this up. Apparently I never scanned some of the plants, which is a little bit weird. Oh, hey, look at that! The ampules are in here, and there are ampule eggs on the bottom. Yeah, the egg-laying creatures are reproducing. That actually works. How did I play this game for this long and not realize this? I guess because I only ever wanted one of each, just to prove that I had them. Also, I believe my infected fish have infected all the other fish in the aquariums. That definitely seems like a mechanic based on the infected jelly ray in here, who was definitely hatched as an uninfected egg. Oh well, it happens. So these TVs can watch the Subnautica Cinematic Trailer because it's the only thing that's actually in the right folder. That's actually pretty cool. I'm not going to, it sounds very distracting, but I'm glad that I can. If it had volume controls, I would probably let it play in the background, but without that, it's just too loud. So right now I'm harvesting loads and loads of diamonds to get enough money to afford the most important part of the base, the jukebox. And while I wrap this up, I'm doing a quick walk through the base. Where I just came from is the SCS Nightmare area. I actually quite like it aesthetically, but it is just industrialization on a very silly scale. And this is going to be one of the last base walkthroughs we ever really do here until the end of the run, because largely it's not going to change too much from this point. I'm just going to switch around decorations a little bit. We have the big green room for the teleporter, the kelp forest creatures down here below it. You can argue gasopods don't belong, but their color scheme matches nicely. Coming back around to our farm room, it's finally a dedicated farm room with a not so dedicated aquarium at the minute. Don't worry about that. But you know, grass panels, nothing but lantern fruit trees, and all the other fauna has been moved out to the base. Seamoth moon pool needs decorations. Prawn suit moon pool needs a prawn suit. We'll come to the other side of that moon pool shortly. This is a main exit to the base and the production room, which is still very much in the growing pain stage of the game. I've never really sorted it out. Beneath it, we have all the blue flora and fauna. Coming this way to what is effectively the purple room, where all the purple flora and fauna live. This is the bedroom. It's a lot nicer than it's been. It's so much better. It's the first time I've ever actually even bothered to decorate it. I am tempted to have something playing here, but that's just very loud, so I don't want to use that. Of course, the keep composter lives here, because I'm not really using a Cyclops this game. This room will eventually be a nuclear reactor. For now, it's the unsafe shallows meme. And it leads to the grassy plateaus. Exit, nothing really to show in that direction. The scanner room is a scanner room. Most importantly, though, it's an entrance and exit to the base. This is the actual aquarium room. Down in the bottom right there, you can barely see them. That is the cuttlefish egg, and it's also where we're going to be harvesting all the oculus or the bioreactors. Speaking of the bioreactors, they're right next door. Here's 5 of them, and it's the red room. Why? I think it's funny to make the most dangerous color the bioreactor room. It just sounds like a terrible idea. Also, the Gary fish are sort of dominating in there. I didn't expect them to be the ones who won this. And coming out this way, it's the one area of the base in need of another room. There's just such a long stretch without anything going on. This is the single longest uninterrupted stretch of tunnels in the entire base. And as you can see, I just got this curve in the base to make it look like it's not. That's literally the point of this curve, is to break up the monotony straight line that stretches pretty much across the whole base. Which is no longer really necessary, to be honest, because I have the bioreactor blocking vision anyway. And getting back into the base, there's a couple more things, but none of it's really changed in quite some time. Coming down here, we have the little observatory for the top of the mushroom forest. Going down further, you can see it from the ground level. You can also see our drills. It's a much worse view than it used to be. We have bioreactors here and above, and we have the storage sorter for the drill here. We should probably turn off sand and titanium. I think we're good on those. Holy shit. And switch over to just diamonds. I'm actually leaving titanium on. I think I'm good on glass for the rest of the campaign, but if I keep making outpost based, I might actually need substantially more titanium than I currently have. So it turns out, because the remote storage was actually full, there was additional material stuck inside the drills. We actually have 116 pieces of glass. Anyway, like I was saying, we're finishing off the base walkthrough. There's the drills, power battery on top of the bioreactors, loads of deep mushrooms. Apparently I didn't replant them properly, so I guess let's get to that. And of course, there's one more thing I need to talk about. It's the wind farms above us. Right between the power room and the production room, there is a tunnel going up to a massive wind farm observatory. You can't quite see any of the land masses from here, but that's probably for the best. They don't look too good anyway. And there need to be some decorations up here for sure. There need to be a lot of signs from the base, a lot more random foliage and potted plants in the hallways. This room just needs a rework. I don't even want these lockers to exist. Probably need a few more water fountains throughout the base, to be honest. But yeah, I think this is a really strong place for the base to be for the first time. There are very few rooms that feel like they don't have a purpose. Most of the base feels like it has a clear reason to exist, and I'm really happy with it. So as I walk through my base looking for places to put signs, I realize that I can only really put signs on the walls where you're not even looking at them in most places, which isn't actually very helpful. And then like the handful of places where I can put them elsewhere, it's like teleporter that way, literally everything else this way. Doesn't really feel helpful to use signs in this space. I'll throw them all in a box and maybe come up with a use for them later. So I made this trash receptacle bin from FCS Studios. It doesn't accept trash. It's just a joke. Very weird. Gonna go ahead and destroy it and put a normal trash can back. But I go ahead and throw this trash receptacle kit right into the garbage. Apparently I bought 2 of them and I don't need a second fire extinguisher. The first one's already completely aesthetic. So, test. Curtains. They do just sort of work anywhere vaguely near a window. What do they do? Can I open and close them? Oh my god, I can. I know it's nothing particularly amazing, but I kind of love it. And I can use the paint tool to make them a different color if I wanted to. These probably need to be in my bedroom in some capacity, huh? My bedroom's already filled with posters and plants and shit. Fine. It's just very hard for me to argue with having, like, curtains in the bedroom. That seems just eminently reasonable. Even if it is just to my moon pool, I just like the idea of having curtains in my bedroom. It makes it feel more human. That doesn't feel more human. Shit. Was I supposed to, like, actually play the game today? Was that on the agenda? Was I supposed to, like, go to Lost River and finish the game? Was that the original plan? Because right now the plan has changed tremendously. This doesn't need to be here. I've already got a TV right there next to the bed. There's a bug where after a while in my game, when I try to put up posters, it does this. Saving and loading fixes it. Not sure what causes it, though. There's some more stuff that I bought, like the Peeper Lounge and the Sea Breeze and the stove, where, like, it should go somewhere, but I don't know where. I'm not going to worry about it right now. Oh, the recycler's exterior. I thought this was something you put inside of your house, like a trash can. What the hell are you? Oh, whatever, sure. I'm never going to use this, but I'll go ahead and put one down in the Industrial Nightmare Zone. Even at the back with the drone terminal. And yeah, I can recycle things here. I'm not going to, but now it lives there. And it's pretty. For a given definition of beauty. I like the curtained window from the outside a lot, honestly. So like I was saying a second ago, I reloaded my save and now posters work properly. Whoops. So I'm gonna hang that one here. I'm gonna go hang the prawn suit poster somewhere near the prawn bay, obviously. I think it's fine here, just like as an entry thing to the prawn bay. It's a sort of cramped room, but I mean, that's not too surprising. This may get changed out. I don't really like the plants as they currently are. In fact, I hate them, but I'll sort it out later, because I've been doing this far too long. In fact, I've been doing this so long that I'm pretty confident it's the whole episode at this point. I will mention something now that I forgot to mention at the start of the video, though. Perhaps the most important thing I did between videos was a lot of FCS grinding and updating the outpost base. If I come over here and add this to the global network and change its name to main base, you'll see that when I come over to the global network, I actually have teleporters at all of the outposts that I've built so far, meaning my base are tremendously more well connected. And that's just gonna be very, very nice in the future when I go to build upon them further. I wish I could black out the walls of the tank somehow, so that you only saw the aquariums and not the rooms around them. It'd be so much nicer. Oh well though. But with all this remodeling done, I feel like I've already been playing for 2 hours, even though it's gonna be edited down very heavily. While it might be a somewhat short episode, it's pretty much an entire damn episode. If you look at the top of my screen right now, you'll notice that my power's not what it should be. I'm not getting power from the windmills right now. That's because I wasn't thinking and I quit out to the main menu and then loaded back in instead of fully closing the game. I'm gonna quit without saving to avoid saving anything I just broke in FCS, go back into the main menu, place my posters again properly, and then hopefully have everything working according to plan. Because what's happened is something somewhere broke because I loaded from the main menu. And I should just be able to fix this by not saving, quitting the game entirely, and then reloading the save. Oh no! I got 3 errors of BS278. It's either too far away or the ID is incorrect when I load it in. That doesn't seem like a good thing. Grumble, grumble. What base am I now? I'm BS290 now. I must have saved it at some point. Or maybe it's not caused by that. It's just more likely to happen if I do that. That's so frustrating. Well, I have to fix a lot of things then. And I was planning on actually continuing, but now I think I have to continue without it, unfortunately. The reason being, well, I'll show you in a second. It's directly related to what I was talking about a second ago involving setting up teleporters. So first I have to go outside and change the drills to BS290. And changing the drills really isn't a big problem. And in fact, that was all I had to do. I wouldn't even be too upset. But I have to do a lot more than this, unfortunately. So we go here, connect to base, change this to BS290. I actually think it does have to be in caps. Copy, paste, and then we go do the same command on the other ones as well to connect all of them to the base. That's not an issue. It's like slightly annoying that I have to do this, but not a big deal. The bigger issue is that when I come up here to my telepower pylon, it's going to be set to push, which doesn't work. It's why I'm not getting power. It's why I noticed the issue in the first place. And that's where the really big problem's going to come in. Because, yeah, sure, I can come here, change it to pull, but every base is pushing. 264 should be the name of this one up here. I want to double check that it's right. I can do that just by going in my base and seeing if I'm getting the power now. That's much easier. And my max power is correct now, but the issue is if I go over here and try to teleport somewhere to show off the teleportation system like I was about to, then yes, these bases exist and have teleporters. But they don't have power, so I can't teleport to them. That's the big fucking problem with that bug happens when I save it, is that now I have to physically go to every base and turn them back online. So I guess I'm gonna go get started on that. And honestly, it sounds like it's time to build a super Seaglide too, because this is very tedious stuff. And while I wait for this thing to fully break and flood, I'm going to go ahead and go do the incredibly tedious busy work of turning 100 pieces of sand into 100 pieces of glass, because yes, I actually have to do that. EasyCraft doesn't recognize modded recipes, and as a consequence, it will never turn sand to glass. Pulse pounding action, man. Absolutely riveting gameplay, game of the year 2018, no contest. I do love Subnautica, just not this part of Subnautica. Alright, I finally hit my breaking point. I built a super Seaglide because I've set up teleporters at this point, and I'm only not able to use them because of glitches. Let's go return all of our bases to working power. And as you can see, coming over to the Dunes base, it just isn't pulling power. That's the entire issue. Loud Reaper Boy nearby. And these bases may be a little bit different than the last time you saw them, like this wasn't a room previously, but they're largely the same. And the good news is I can at least teleport back to the main base once I'm done, which is currently not pulling power for some reason. There we go, it just took it a second to realize that it was. Alright, fair enough. And now we go do the same thing again for the next 2 outposts. And as we head out to our next base, I have an inventory of 8 titanium, 1 quartz to build a multi-purpose ring and a hatch, and all the FCS stuff to throw inside of it to build the next outpost, because I am going to be building the next outpost along this trip. But first we have to get there the hard way. Well, to be fair, the Super Seaglide is actually incredibly quick and easy, but it's still a lot harder than teleporting. I don't actually have to break my Super Seaglide glitch here. I can just go here, change it to pull, set it to the correct base, and then leave without stepping foot inside once I hear it power on. There we go. That is a lot of bone sharks, holy hell. This is a terrifying place. Now, I'm not actually convinced there's anything at the Lost River base that I actually need. I'm sure there is, and I'm just forgetting it. But for the life of me, I can't say what it's going to be. It's probably just an orange tablet, like you have to upgrade from orange here. Yeah, that's correct. All right, the ghost isn't nearby, so we're just gonna power this on. Game, thank you. I don't know why there's 2 base 264s, there's always have been. And from here, we're just gonna continue onward. We're gonna zip past the ghost. I don't really feel too bad about cheating to get past him, because I could very easily get past him normally. And in case you don't know what I mean by that, since I haven't demonstrated it, I've dodged around Reapers with the Seaglide before. I can drop buildings as I go to give myself something to move around. Like, I just don't feel like making this harder on myself than it already is. because it is... I really just feel like I can easily get past the ghost at this point and don't feel too worried about playing it super legitimately and breaking my super Sea Glide to get past him. And here's our objective. My base is also the closest entrance to the alien facility here that you need to access. And while it is underwater, I have a second ultra-high capacity tank, so there's really nothing for me to fear. Except for running out of inventory space, that is a serious concern. And not bringing purple tablets, that would also be a serious concern. Luckily, getting to my base and back isn't going to be too bad, because I just swim back to the observatory, use the teleporter on my base, pick up... Actually, I don't even need to use the teleporter. I can just use the computer to pick it up from there. I don't even need to go back at all. FCS is incredible sometimes. Is that the ghost? He looks so weird. It's like he's not lit right. Hey man, how are you doing? I don't know if you one-shot me, but I'm not looking to find out. No, I'll just go over to the global network, base 222, find the purple cube. There it is. Or the purple tablet, rather. I also want to deposit some stuff. I don't need these ion cubes I just picked up, and I do need to get 3 more metal, because I just used all my metal getting in there. Or dropping it to hold ion cubes, rather. 1, 2, 3, 8 ports, everything else, we're good. And then back we go, except this time you have to actually dodge the sea moth. Not the sea moth, the ghost leviathan. Do your worst, chump. Doesn't really seem to care about me this time. I'm not complaining. That's helpful. Nah, he's noticing. Is he not? Yeah, there we go. Nope, he's screaming at somebody else. I'm fine. You know what I should have invested in? The personal teleporter, so that I could leave here without going back through it all. Alas. Yeah, the ghost finder just doesn't seem to mind me. I spoke too soon. That's fine, I know how to dodge. We're fine. Alright, he ended up eating somebody else, we're safe. You know what's not great, though? I didn't refill my other high-capacity tank. We're gonna need to be quick about this. I think we're fine. The other tank still has like a full minute of oxygen in it, so I'm pretty confident we're fine. But man, is this a bad decision. I should have just went back. I'm just so confident that I'm fine. I feel like I have like, I don't even know if I need to switch to the other tank, really. I definitely do. But I think we're fine. It's just constant stress, because I still technically have my hardcore status. Wait, I didn't need to come here. That was useless. Shit. What a waste of time. I hate everything about this. I didn't even know warpers lived in Lost River. Completely forgot about that. So there was literally no reason to go here. I could have just went down the pit the first time like I planned to. Maybe the ion cubes were necessary. Why do you sound like a poorly maintained car combined with a screaming cat? We have 500 meters to go. We're definitely fine. The only question is if the ghost of is going to cost us a lot of time. It's set with someone else right now, so that's fine. But I have to keep an eye on him because he's very close to me. I don't like that. We're on our own air right now. We need to switch over to this. We have a minute to go 400 meters. That's fine. This is fine. This is all completely fine. I've dodged Leviathans before. It's good to know he doesn't one-shot me, because I wasn't expecting him to be able to turn like that. Thank you for not being as dangerous as you could have been. I was very worried about this. Alright, we're just fine at this point, I think.
30 seconds.
That's fine. We can travel 150 meters in 30 seconds, no problem. We've got a Sea Glide. Well, I failed to dodge the Leviathan. I did dodge him for a while. I just was like, oh, he's hit the corner, I'm safe. And then he managed to turn it. But we're fine. Made it pointless and stressful for no reason, but we got to the alien base and actually accomplished something other than decorating a base this time. So that's nice. Unfortunately, the thing we accomplished was entirely pointless and there was no reason to do it, so that's less nice. Gonna pick up some more first aid kits. And I think we're just gonna go straight down. I can probably grab a nutrient block and some water. Seems like a sensible thing to do. And I think next time we're gonna go down. For now, I'm done. I finally made some game progress, but mostly we just decorated the base today. Next time we're gonna go even deeper down the trench into the inactive lava zone. Build another base. Hopefully this one can actually find some nickel, because God knows there isn't anywhere we're at right now. But for now, I'm done. I'd rather go here. Hope you enjoyed the episode. Hope you're still liking the series, and I'll see you in the next one.